So in order to make a Calpheon Timber Crates with origin of Trent, all I need is a worker from Trent to make those timber crates. And all I do is to hiring as many workers as possible in Trent. And because of that, I need a lodging. And this is my lodging setup in Trent. I have 3 lodging in Trent and another 2 lodging in Longleaf 3 Sentry Post and another 2 in Bear. For all this lodging, I can get a 10 worker based on the trend to make the crates. And the next step is to preparing the workshop on Calpheon by doing this. Currently I'm running 7 workshops in Calpheon, and 4 of them I used to make timber crates, Calpheon timber crates, and 3 of them I used to make the plywood. To make Calpheon timber crates, you need the following ingredients: the birch plywood, fir plywood, and cedar plywood, and a blackstone powder. To make a plywood, there is 3 ways to get the plywood. The first way is to manually processing it twice from timber, once to get the plank, the second time into the plywood. And the second way is by just processing it once into the plank and using workbench. Like this, I'm using my 3 Calpheon workbench to get the plywood. And the third way is obviously by buying the material of the marketplace. You can search the material and it will show, but I don't recommend using the marketplace because it's too expensive. And by using the first and second method of getting the plywood, you can get a pretty nice experience with processing, and it's a pretty cheap method. So the next step is to gather the material for Calpheon timber crates, and the material are birch, fir, and cedar. These 3 kind of materials you can gather in nodes, and I'll show you how to get them. All these nodes is around Calpheon area. It's around here. So all I need is 3 kind of the timber. The first timber is going to be the birch timber. The node is located on Bree Tree Ruins. The second one is on Queen Hill, and the third one is on Old Dandelion. For fir timber, I connect all the way down here to Mansia Forest. The second one is Trent Forest, and the third fir is Fernale's Cabin. For the cedar, I connected to Ozzy Pass, Longleaf Tree Forest, and the last cedar is Lumberjack's Rest Area. The next step is to hiring a worker from Calpheon. So I using this lodging in Calpheon, 3 lodging here and 1 lodging here. You should get enough worker in Calpheon to gather all these nodes. Why I'm using Calpheon worker to gather all these nodes? Because all the timber will come to Calpheon warehouse like this. Cedar, fir, and birch timber are my Calpheon warehouse. After I gathering all the material, I processing all this timber into the plank, and I'm buying the blackstone powder from marketplace or by grinding crystal. After that, I send all the plank and blackstone powder into the trend. So for the last step is to make a plywood by workbench and making the Calpheon Timber Crate itself. And I'm using these 3 workbench in Calpheon to make the plywood with the worker from Trend. After I get enough plywood in Trend, then I can start to make the Calpheon Timber Crate with also using the worker from Trend. And I think that's pretty much it. And if you guys have any question, please post a comment below. And thanks for watching.